in Omonoia.
And we called taxi, and with Killian, I opened the door behind, I put him in the taxi, and I closed the door, and I want to go inside, and Killian go out.
You're going to get someone messaging you afterwards saying, "Why did you mention me?"
Hey, fuck them.
She say, I cry because you are here today.
Πάμε σιλά καμουθιά, βρεγά,
Edo, welcome to another edition of the No Chof Des podcast, the Alpha podcast in Cyprus. I'm your host, Stel. I've got Roy here, but before I introduce Roy, because he's always running late, Cyprus traffic and everything, we have a very special guest. And as you guys know, Neil Lennon is our new head coach. We're happy about it. We're positive about it. And we've got a gentleman here that knows Neil Lennon kind of well, having played with him at Leicester City, a gentleman that won 2 League Cups as a Leicester City player, a gentleman that captained Leicester City and spent 14 years at the club. It's Steve Walsh. Steve, welcome to the podcast, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. It's nice to speak to you. And do you know what? I was speaking to Neil Lennon. He was in Tenerife, just having a week off before he obviously signed for you guys. So yeah, it's an interesting signing for me, and I've got his number. I'm going to be calling him at some point because I'm coming over to Cyprus in August myself personally. I'm coming to a wedding, so I expect to be looked after when I come over.
Nice. What part of Cyprus is his wedding? Do you know?
Do you know what? I've not even looked. It's my wife's friend who's getting married. I've not even looked at the hotel or anything yet, so I will find out.
It doesn't matter. It'll be sunny.
And I'll let you know.
It doesn't matter. It'll be sunny, mate. And Roy will look after you. He's in Nicosia, so don't worry.
Yeah. I'll be waiting for you, Mr. Walsh.
Hi. That's great.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, Steve, this announcement came left field for us because Henningberg got the sack a couple of weeks ago, and there were so many names being thrown about. And as you probably understand, in Cyprus, it's a small island. There's a million people. Everyone seems to know each other. Everyone seems to know each other's business. But when Lennon's name was mentioned on Sunday, it threw us. We're like thinking, wow, where did this come from? Did you have an
believe it or not, I was the same, because I'd spoken to Neil, only a week or two ago about, I don't know if you got any contacts, what was happening. He said, I'm just taking a little bit of time. Just, I've got a few things that I could go and do. And I'm just taking my time. I want to pick the right job. And it has surprised me slightly, but it's something that Neil, I guess now from obviously the Celtic job to come into this, he's wanted something different. And, I think it's, for him, it's exciting that it's a different challenge. And in a country that, a beautiful country that he's going to enjoy himself, with how life is. But it's totally about football for him, as he's a winner. He doesn't like losing, as everybody probably knows. He can get a little bit lively when, things don't go his way. Again, and that's through that will to win and that passion for football and that winning mentality. So I think you've got a very interesting manager who is a young manager, really looking to get back on the ladder as far as he's won things wherever he's gone. When he was at Leicester, he won trophies with us. He was a key player for that team, along with Muzi Iza, who was a Turkish international player, and they were phenomenal. I was the captain for Leicester throughout them years, and I was injured. I was nearly finished, 5 years when they came, and I carried on playing in front of them. The energy they had and the what they brought to the team was a different dimension, and it kept me going for another 5 years. So with them in front of me, is terrific. But Neil's, like I said, he wants to win things, and wherever he goes, he seems to do that. So I expect him to do well. It's going to take him a little bit of time just to get familiarized with everybody and the way things work, and I'm sure he'll bring to the team that winning mentality and that drive to and how to win things. So I'm expecting him to do well.
Steve, he said all the right things in the press conference yesterday. He spoke about the club's history. He spoke about the fans. In fact, he told us that a taxi driver told him all about the club in a journey to the training ground. But we on this podcast, we've always spoken about the players, and we do regular podcasts reviewing shows. We talk about tactics. We talk about where things go right, where things go wrong. And there's something that Neil said about the attitude, the aggression he wants to bring to the team, because this is something that we've believed all season. The club has lacked aggression on the pitch and pace going forward. He said we're going to try and implement that kind of style. And he said a lot of things about bringing youth players, which was something that we pride ourselves on. We've had several successful youngsters. One of them has recently joined Sporting Kansas City in MLS. So we can see that there's progress from the academy side of things. But yeah, he said a lot of positive things. But again, there are sections of supporters, and myself included, when the announcement was made, I was thinking, can he come to Cyprus? Because we've seen British coaches fail in Cyprus over the years. George Burley, Mick McCarthy last season had a terrible time at our rivals, which was great for us, don't get me wrong. But we know about the pressure involved in Cypriot football, but Lennon has been through more pressure than anyone can imagine from his personal life, especially at Celtic, no?
Yeah, absolutely. And, when you talk about aggression, you've got to have the right balance of controlling the aggression that you have. It's something that should come naturally in players. If you've got it, you've got it. If you haven't, you haven't. You can help nurture that. There's no doubt about that. But for me, to get a winning formula, you're going to need experience. You're going to need youth coming through, and the right balance. If you've got that balance of a few older heads who can guide these young lads through, then that's a winning formula that I've found throughout my career, and I see it so many times in clubs now. Okay, we look at Arsenal, they're doing very, very well now with a lot of younger people, but they've got a right balance of experience in that team. And Neil will be, he'll understand that, once he steps through the door, what he's got to do, the challenge that he's got. He's very good motivator. He's a very good man management with players, and I think that's going to be important for the team. And then it's about his game plan and what football tactically does he play? How does he set up, and that can only be gauged. But when he's got amongst the players, and he knows technically how they can play and who plays where, and maybe some players might have to play out of position, and they might find new positions. I don't know, but it's going to be a trial and error thing early on, and I think that you've got to give him a little bit of time to get his messages across to the team, and I think you'll find that players will enjoy the training, they'll enjoy working with him, and like I say, he expects high expect of quality and class that he wants. So he won't have any bystanders, anyone who's not working hard enough for the team. I think fitness levels will need to be looked at, and the whole process of building a team and making it your own blueprint on that team might need a few changes. I don't know, but that's for him. He's clever enough. He speaks well in the press. He conducts himself well in certain areas. That obviously there's been a couple of incidents that you'll all think of, but that's through pure the will to win. Off the field events he's got caught up in now and again. But he's a great guy, and he's going to give this a big shot. I know he is.
I think Gary Parker's going to be the assistant coach, a gentleman who was with him at Celtic a couple of times, if I'm not mistaken, and he played for Leicester City as well with yourself. Again,
yes,
if I got that one right. Are we talking about good cop, bad cop here? Because the reason why I ask is because in Cyprus, there are certain head coaches at clubs who are very fiery. Ketspire at Anorthosis, he's an absolute nutcase. We've got Sofronia at our rivals Apoel, who's another one that isn't afraid to... He doesn't mince his words, let's just put it that way. So we know how fiery Mr. Lennon can be. I'm sure he'll cope with the rival side of things, the rivalry.
Yeah, but listen, he's got to be very careful. And I know he will be. He will gauge things. He's not stupid. He's a clever guy, quite intellectual. And I think he's learned from a few errors that he's made in his past, and everyone makes a few mistakes. Don't get me wrong. He's not really getting involved at the moment. He's got a job to do, and that's to get this team back on track and get them back into the right mentality, because that is a big thing in football now. Is how you approach games mentally, and you've got to be strong-minded as a football player. So all these things will all come into to play for Neil Lennon. Like I say, it is going to be difficult for him, not knowing how the culture works, but he'll soon get to know that. I think people will like him. He's got to. It'd be nice if he can hit the ground running. But Gary Parker coming into the equation, I thought he might do that. I've known Gary a long time. He's a good coach. He's a great lad, and Lennon has trust in him. With the coaching side of things, he's a good coach. So that's important, and also what they will create is a good team spirit, which I think in any successful team is so much a big part to play. So that is key. He's getting everybody on side, tuned into what he wants to do, how he wants to play, and he'll take it from there.
Steve, I've got one more question before I fire it over to Roy. When you look at Lennon's philosophy towards football, I mean, with Omonoia, we've got high expectations. Last season was our first title in 11 years. And, Henning Bird did a phenomenal job. And even Lennon himself said yesterday in the press conference, he's got big shoes to fill because Henning Bird did a fantastic job. And he's actually aiming to win the title back next season, which, given our performance this year, it's a big ask. That being said, so much changes in football, especially in Cyprus, and Roy will attest to that. So do you think he's come to this club with the main ambition to win the title in his first full season?
I think that, any manager in his own right going into a new club, that's a big challenge. So like I said, I like to see managers being given a little bit of time, if you will. You know how cutthroat the game is these days. With you lose a few games, and the whole spirit of the club seems to diminish, and sometimes it's hard to get out of situations when you start losing a few games, and you've got the crowd on your back. It's difficult to but that's down to players' will to win as well. So somewhere along the line, something seems to because you've got very good players, they can't become bad players overnight. It's maybe a change of management that is needed. The philosophy of Neil's football will be good. I think you'll like the style that he'll want to play. So yeah, it is. I'd like to see him given time, and these days you don't have enough time, so he's going to have to hit the ground running. I'd like you to ask me that question in another 3 months or something, but let's see. Next season I think you've got to be geared to give it a good go. And when does your season finish? Similar to ours?
Well, we've got I think that was
May.
10 league games left. But the thing is, the league splits.
Yeah,
Steve,
so it's
so
similar to ours. Yeah, I'm gonna have a. Do you know what? I've not even. I'm going to start following you guys now because it interests me speaking to you. I'm going to have a look and excuse my ignorance. I know I've heard the team and I always see it come up, but I've never really looked closely at what's going on behind the scenes. So I will do that, and maybe you can get me on further on in, before the end of the season,
mate.
and
It'll
we'll
be great to have you on.
That will be our honor.
Singing Neil Lennon's praises, but he's got a tough job on his hands. We all know that, and we'll see.
Well, the thing is, Steve, I was listening to TalkSport the other day, and Jim White was talking about the appointment, and they quickly spoke to Neil Lennon about the job. And afterwards, they were saying, "Oh, well, he's in a relegation dogfight. It's been a bad season." This is the lack of research done for the league, because what happens is we got 12 teams in the league, and it splits in February. So everyone plays each other twice, and then the league splits. So the top 6 have a little playoff section where they fight for the European places. And then the bottom 6 fight for the relegation spots. But the thing is, there's 2 relegation places, and we're 17 points clear of the team that's second from bottom. So the chances of us going down, if it happens, it will be the most ridiculous thing that ever happens.
Jim White needs to do his due diligence on what's happening.
Leanne Sanderson and Simon Jordan. We'll be safe. I think we'll be safe because the quality of teams below us, they're not great. All right, fair enough. We've had a bad season and we've lost to a few of those teams, but given the players that we've got, and given a lot of these players have played in European Championships, they've played in Champions Leagues. It's just been a bad season. So
it's similar to. Do you know what? It's similar to Leicester City this season. They've been crippled with injuries. They've had such bad luck. You would not believe. And sometimes you've got to make your own luck, but things have gone against the manager, Brendan Rodgers, quite badly. And sometimes you get bizarre seasons like this. Hopefully, Lennon can get this club back on track. And he has to do it, immediately now. He has to really, get results from when he goes in straight away to make this path and get the fans on his side. That's key because obviously, fans can turn quickly. And if he doesn't get it right, then it is his own fault. But I'm guessing that he will do very well because I know what he demands. I know what he'll want from his players. So I'm quite excited for you guys that I think that he could do well. But let's give him a little bit of time.
Well, we've got about 8 or 9 players out of contract in the summer, Steve.
Cool.
And one of them has already apparently agreed to join another club. He's a second choice left back, top bloke as well. So there's going to be a big rebuild in the summer. We can see it. And the thing is, because I don't think Lennon's used to really small budgets. Do you get what I'm saying?
No.
At Celtic, he had a couple of million to spend on certain players. In Cyprus, listen, he'll be lucky to spend 300,000-400,000 on a player on a transfer fee, not just for his annual wages. So when I see people on social media saying, "Oh, he might sign Duffy, he might sign Barkas, the goalkeeper from Ike," it's not going to happen. We don't have that budget. But I'll throw it over to Roy because I know he's itching to ask you some questions. Hello, Roy.
Hi, Roy. How you doing?
Hello. Hello, how are you?
I'm sorry, Roy. I can only just hear you guys today. I don't know why. There's some problem with the audio, but I can only just hear. So I'll let you speak anyway, mate. But nice to be on your show and to speak to you. Sorry, that's great.
It's a pleasure to have you on, Steve. It's absolutely amazing. Actually, I wasn't gonna be on the show, but I took the day off work, so it worked out for the best. So I'm really happy. I've got some Leicester a friend who supports Leicester. He's English and he's living in Cyprus, and I told him about the show. It's like, really? He was like, wow, I'm going to tell my brother as well. And really nice.
Excellent.
And it's a pleasure. Well, basically, okay, Stel covered a few of the questions I'd like to ask. In Cyprus, unfortunately, not getting their results, but even getting them, but having a bad spell might cost you your job. So you see, for example, Berg gave us the league after 11 years. We were first, and then we were champions. We entered the European stages. And okay, granted, this season we haven't been doing really well. But my main concern was that, they sacked Mr. Berg, and now they're with 10 games remaining for the league, and hopefully 5 for the cup, because we're still in the cup. So realistically, the only path for European football next season is through by winning the cup, if we do get to the final. In my opinion, on the one hand, it's good that Mr. Lennon came in now, because it's going to give him some time to evaluate the players, have a better understanding of the league. But at the same time, the amount of games left and the possibility of losing the cup is going to put a lot more pressure on his shoulders when it comes to building the next season.
Yes.
Additionally, yeah.
I agree that, like I say, he's got to identify very quickly what is important, and look at the players as a whole. He'll soon get amongst them with training. He'll quickly know what is going on inside the club, and and like I say, it's he's got to bring the best out of these players, and that's what he's very good at. And I think, like I say, I think that a lot of football is first of all getting everybody enjoying the training and enjoying what they're doing, and striving for success. He'll demand everybody to be singing off the same hymn sheet, in a sense of pulling together and working hard as a unit, as a team. He'll have looked at videos. He'll look at where he thinks that things aren't right, and stamp his authority on it that way. That's the only thing he can do. And like I say, I think he's got to come in, and we all know that this season is vital. If you can claw anything back and get a good into the final of the cup, then it gives the team an opportunity. And so that'll be his aim, I guess. He's obviously staying in the league, which it sounds like you should be fine. But if he can, he's a winner, and he'll want to put some good effort into the cup competition, I'm sure. So he's going to be an interesting start for him. But like you say, coming in at this stage in the season is difficult for any manager. So, like I say, you're going to have to identify. You're going to have to have a look at him yourselves as fans, and look what he puts into the effort and the club and the direction of what his vision is. Like I say, I think that he will bring younger lads into the squad if he thinks they're good enough as well. So he'll give everybody a fair chance, that's for sure. And then he might look at the style of football and think that it needs to change. I don't know. So there's a lot of things going to happen over the next 2 months and 10 games that you've got left to play. So but I can assure you this, that he's going to he's going to be fully motivated, and he's going to get them players, working very, very hard to give everything they've got for the club.
Yeah, yesterday, actually, in the press conference, he said, I'm not hungry, I'm starving for football. So that shows like the determination he has to get things, going. Okay, yesterday he was a little bit diplomatic in his answers. I wasn't expecting, something groundbreaking to hear from, his press conference. So obviously, with games remaining and him not being able to sign any new players, he would have wanted to protect the squad and the existing players, because he knows that the remainder of the games he has to play with the games he's been dealt with, the players or the cards he's been dealt in this case. So
yeah,
what do you think are the characteristics he will want to bring into the game? How would that translate?
I think his work ethic. I think his he'll want to stamp his style of football, which is a real solid formation and rigid game plan that he will impose. I think that it'll be exciting football. He'll want, when they've got the ball, he'll want to play counter-attacking football, I guess, if you've got the speed in players. But I think first of all, he'll be the formation that he'll be hard to beat. I think that's important. You've got to build your foundation on the backbone of the team if you can, and look at inspiration from the players that are there. I don't know who the captain is, and if he's if that's might be a change. I don't know, because I've not seen any. I don't know
the main captain
how this happens. But like I say, I'll have a look. I'll have a close look myself. And but Neil will do this, and it's important now that he hasn't got time on his side for, this season. So it's a difficult situation to go into, but he's prepared to go into to anything because he's a winner. Like I say, and he's got great ambition to do well. He's not coming there to just have the sun on his back and just lay down. And he's a fighter, and he'll want to win everything that he goes into, and he'll be disappointed if he doesn't succeed.
Steve, our first choice captain, has been injured the whole season. I think he only played a couple of games at the beginning, which were Europa League qualifiers.
Right.
It was a Champions League. I can't remember. It was Champions League qualifiers. So he got injured right at the start of the season. He's got a knee problem. The vice captain is Jordi Gomez, who was at Wigan, and
right, yes,
he did his cruciate a few weeks ago. So that's him gone. And then our third choice captain is our left back, who got 16 assists last season. And he's a Czech left back. But my main concern this season was the lack of leadership throughout the pitch. The second concern was we were conceding silly goals because of defensive errors, and there's no leadership across the back four, despite having two central defenders that have played, an incredible amount of games. One of them is a Europa League winner,
Yeah.
So I think the leadership.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, you've got exactly the same problems as Leicester City. It's incredible that you say what you've just said to me is exactly the same. There's no leadership at the minute. And this is a key to any successful team, is leadership, I believe. Johnny Evans for Leicester City has been out, in and out of the team, and it's caused so many problems. And we're conceding from every corner free kick. That it's unreal. And you go through times like these, but you've got to. I can clearly see, and a lot of the fans can see what is going wrong. And that's the one thing that Neil Lennon will identify is where you're going wrong, and he's going to have to look at a key player in that team to give that captaincy to, that can be on his side and also drive the rest of the players, because that's important.
In all fairness, Karen.
Yeah. One of the main concerns of some of the fans of Omonoia here in Cyprus is, like Stel said in the introduction, the fans here are a little bit reserved when it comes to people coming from Britain as a whole, because they haven't had a very high success rate, whether that be as managers or football players. I mean, we had Derbyshire, who did a good job. Derbyshire used to play for our team. Now he plays for AEK. Mark Fotheringham played for another team who was also going to be Lennon's assistant, but it didn't work out. But overall, not a lot of people coming from Britain managed to have good results. So people are a bit concerned that if Mr. Lennon brings a lot of people from either Scotland or England, they're a bit concerned that it's not going to work out. Do you think that Mr. Lennon is either willing or he's open-minded to bringing players from different countries, or will he accept from
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I think he will, like I said, identify where the strengths and weaknesses are. But that's the first thing he's got to do, and he's got to work with the current players and get the best out of these players. That's for sure. I think that he'll look around the club first, and he'll know who is good enough, what positions need strengthening. And and I can assure you, with any signing that he will bring, that he will get hard-working players with technically good players who can pass and can play. So I think you'll kind of like his style. Obviously, I don't know with budgets and how much and who he would think of bringing in at this moment in time, but that's for him to identify when he gets out there. But he'd like to work with what he's got first of all, and quickly get amongst them and find out what he needs to strengthen. So you know, he's not daft. He's Neil. Listen. You've got homegrown players. That's what every club wants to see, is young homegrown players coming through the system, and that's where he will give players a chance if they're good enough and when to play them. So yeah, I think it'd be quite exciting for the club for his thoughts on and who he brings through, and we'll see. Time will tell.
Steve, thank you for joining us. I'm got a couple quick questions to ask you, and I'll let you enjoy the rest of your day. You've obviously played with Lennon. He was a product of Cruz Academy, if I'm not mistaken. And can you tell us any stories about him as a player? Anything you'd like to share that you're allowed to?
Now, but stories, you mean funny stories or
anything really? Because I can imagine winning the League Cup. There must be some stories there after beating Middlesbrough in the cup final.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? There was in our day there was a real drinking culture, you know, and Martin O'Neill, the way he worked and managed was rewarded through, you know, having a drink and having one before a game, even before a cup final. We've done this, you know, but sometimes, obviously, you know, when that does happen, it can get a little bit out of hand. So we were well known as hard workers. We won. You know, football came first, and then parties come after us. And he'll take his time when he comes over there. Neil's not. He's so much changed over the years. I've not really got any proper stories apart from funny things that have happened on the training ground and things throughout the years. But they'll be probably libel now, these stories, so we'll probably leave them there. But
we'll
no, there's been some
we'll
classics, and if I had a bit more time, I would tell you quite a few. But no, he's a good lad, is Neil Lennon. There's no doubt about that. He wants to win, and he will instill a work ethic that gets results. I think I'm quite optimistic that he can do well at your club. So I would, you know, open him, you know, embrace this challenge for him, but give him a little bit of time, and I think you'll see things will work out. But it's going to be a difficult reign for him to come in and hit the ground running.
Yeah, I'm sure he's come at the right time though, because he's got a few months to evaluate the squad and see what needs to be changed. I think I said 10 games, which I think we can win all of them. In all fairness.
That's great then. And like I say, I think he'll bring out something. You know, he'll drive this team, and he'll make it work hard, and he'll have a good solid shape that he'll play. So yeah, I'm kind of, like I say, I hope he does well. You know, he's a friend of mine, and I'll be giving him a call, and hopefully he's there in August when I come over. August the 6th, I think I'm coming over. So
I'm sure
is that
he'll
the
be
start
there,
of your season then?
August. When's the season going to start? Because
it's end of August. But if we have European games, it's going to be
July. So it'll be pre-season then, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, for the league in Cyprus.
The
league in Cyprus
starts. The training then. Yeah, that'd be good.
The league in Cyprus starts towards the end of August, the last week of August. But if we do enter the European stages, it's going to start a bit earlier for us the season. Excellent. But officially, the league starts last week of August. So yeah, it will be pre-season. Hopefully, we'll be in Europe by the time. So yeah.
Well, Steve, I've seen.
Listen, it'd be nice to, like I say, come over and see you guys anyway. So I'm definitely, you know, if Neil's still in charge, hopefully, and he's done well, then we can have another chat.
He will be.
for
And,
sure.
and you
And
know,
if you want, when we close the cameras, I'll give you my phone number. If you need some help when you come to Cyprus, you just give me a call. If you need anything,
Fantastic.
you can.
That's brilliant. Thanks for that. Yeah.
No
If you could
problem.
send me some details, because I'm not very good at using this StreamYard. I've never used this before. Well, I've used it once, and it's not been great with the sound. I can only just hear you guys. But no, listen. Good luck to the end of the season, and hopefully we can be talking, and you've got a cup in the trophy cabinet. But we'll see.
fingers crossed. Well, Steve, you've got your own academy, haven't you? A coaching academy.
I have, yes, with Muzieza. We've got it's an education football program that we run, and for 16 to 18-year-olds, called Advanced Football Development Academy. So, thanks for giving me that nod. And I'm busy with this. I work as an ambassador for Leicester City Football Club as well. I was at the game last night, so it was a good win last night in the Europa Conference, albeit. But if we can win that, then that'd be an achievement. So we're in a similar situation to you guys. We can retrieve the season if we can, we just stay mid-table and we win a cup at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Well, mate, when you go to Cyprus, if anyone asks you for Uzo, don't have that. Try Zivania. That's stronger. It's like rocket fuel. It's like rocket fuel. They use it to
Fly planes.
to clean planes, everything.
Thanks.
So do you have talents in your academy that who you think you could recommend to Neil Lennon to come to play for Omonoia?
No, they're not good enough. No, they're not good enough. This is it's more of a step down really from the amateur game. So this is mainly an education side of it, but the football, they love it, but they're not quite good. We've had a couple of trials at Leicester City with players, but they're not good enough. So they kind of, you never know though. We're hoping that we can develop players that could come through the system. So, but we'll monitor that closely, and then I'll recommend you some players. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, thanks a lot, Steve Walsh.
Thanks for your time, Steve, and we'll catch up soon, mate.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Yeah, and good luck.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Cheers. There you go. Steve Walsh, Leicester City legend. Right there. See, we've had World Cup winners on the No Choftes podcast. Yeah. Remember that? World Cup winners. We've had Europa League winners, Champions League winners. We have winners on this podcast, man. We don't understand L's. You don't understand it. So yeah, that was a fantastic interview right there. And I hope our viewers are more optimistic. To be honest there, Roy, I've done a 360 in all fairness with this decision. I mean, I was very, very skeptical at the beginning.
No, you didn't do a 360, you did a 180 because
180. Sorry, I'm rubbish. I'm rubbish at maths. I never claimed to be good at maths. I never claimed to be good at maths or angles. Yeah. I don't know the difference between horizontal and anyway, whatever.
It wasn't me trying to be smart. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, he's twisted my arm, and the thing is, it's very easy to become very skeptical about certain managers based on what you've seen and what you've heard. And look, if you go on social media and Twitter, you see a lot of positivity and you see a lot of negativity towards Lennon. And for us as Omoniades, as I said when he was announced, we need to back the manager. In fact, when Berg was sacked, I said the next manager that comes in, we need to support him whether we like it or not. And this is what we're going to do. But as I said at the top of the show, he said the right things in the press conference. As you quite rightly said, nothing really groundbreaking. It was a lot of it, no disrespect, was fluff because we kind of expected it. But how do you feel now, having seen him talking about the players, the academy, what other people have said about him? Because we've heard a lot of positive things, to be fair.
Well, in all honesty, like I wrote a small answer on our group on Facebook, which actually people should follow us and join the group. It's our own group, so it's also another way for people to interact with us. The Facebook group we have of No Choftes. So I wrote a little bit a small answer to that, thinking.
I'm not flip-flopping. I'm not. I'm just saying, just keep the guy. Let's see what he can do. Don't worry. That's it. I need it.
No, as far as the press conference yesterday, I liked. Like I said, I tried to read like the body language. He felt comfortable. He knew like he wasn't arrogant in any way. He didn't underestimate the level of football. He knew a bit about our opponents. He was at the game of Apoel versus Anorthos. He's going to watch Child today. He knew about the game with Doxa. He seemed to be that he did like a crash course in over the weekend or 3-4 days, and that shows a person who's starving, like he said, not hungry to work. But from what I saw yesterday, we should. It makes me even more sure that we have to support this person. We have to support him. Give him at least until the end of next year. At least until the end of next year. So that's my opinion.
Have you got a cold?
Yeah, I caught a cold yesterday. Yeah.
I had the feeling you sounded quite bunged out. I'm thinking, what's wrong with him? Is he really emotional about this whole Neil Lennon situation? Mano, meu querido, what you saying, Roy?
Yeah, I'm going out tonight, man. So I don't want to start Zivanias from Pudadorare.
No, you put it on your chest. You put it on your chest.
Fuck that, man. I'm drinking it.
But yeah, that's all. I'm more excited than anything. In all fairness, I'm excited to see what he can do with this current squad. I'm excited to see what the summer holds for us, because no doubt there's going to be players coming in and out. And I'd say this for now: when I saw Grigori and I saw the other people in the press conference, you can tell that they meant business. Do you know what I mean? But I think they know they're, as I said before, their neck is on the line right now, because they're the ones that made this choice. So again, it's a big one, but it's a big name as well. I mean, you know?
Yeah. You know what other struck me yesterday is the fact that when they tried to ask him, you know, will the targets change whether we win the cup or not? My question is that, you know, I don't know if we not winning the cup will change the budget available. Yes. Whether it will change the budget available for players in the summer. So that's something we'll have to wait and see, because he didn't really answer. He just said the targets are not going to change, but for the meantime, I'm taking every game one at a time. And no doubt the target for next season is to win the league back. But he was asked about the budget, and he didn't say anything about that. He was also asked about a different model and whether he would work with a technical director.
Yeah.
He avoided that as well, even though he said he's willing to work with, you know, scouts and other people in his team. Like he was mostly talking about Simos, I think, who he's already spoken to. But yeah, in my mind, I think at the end of the day, now that he's going to bring his assistant, he's a person who knows him. I think there has to be someone who knows the Cypriot football really well, so he can advise him. And like I said, take this time to understand and evaluate in the best possible way the level of the league as well, the players, so he can
the referees.
Yeah, everything. When I'm talking about the Cypriot league, is everything. The sooner he absorbs and understands how things work here, it's going to be for his own benefit. But if they put a Cypriot next to him as well to advise him, that's going to be even better. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So, new chapter. Is he officially managing the Doxa game at the weekend, or is it Isle his first game? Because no one really mentioned Doxa. He was just like, yeah, we got Doxa the weekend. But...
No, he's got to be on the bench tomorrow. Yeah. And I'm thinking of going. My brother called me. He's like, "Do you want to go to the game?" And I was like, "I'll see." You know, because I'm a bit busy. I'm hoping to go with IL.
2,000 away fans apparently. That's Syria.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and go there. Allah, Anyway, we will see, man. We'll see. I mean, we're probably going to have a pod again with the game tomorrow, so we can talk a bit more. And this is something gradual, I feel. It's something new. We have to give it time. We have to let it grow and be patient. I said, for me, I'm going to be patient no matter what till the end of next season. I'm going to try and stick to that, man.
Do you know what, on the final thing I have to say is that in a way, it's kind of good that we're in the bottom six. The oddie he can gauge. All right, okay. And this isn't a disrespect to the teams in that section, but the quality isn't as good as the top six, right? So he's able to gauge not only, you know, if the players are good enough, but if they've got the fight and the hunger, you know. So, you know, I don't think it's a bad time to bring him in all fairness. And let's be real, we wanted someone to start straight away. We didn't want someone to start in the summer because, you know, you're not able to evaluate your squad in that amount of time. So, and that's in Adume, man. Like I said, I'm optimistic about it. I've done a 180. I got it right this time. So, yeah, let's give him a chance. So, yeah. Ade, wrap it up, Roy. Wrap it up.
Άντε, παιδιά, σήμερα στο εκπομπή είχαμε έναν πραγματικά μεγάλο καλεσμένο. Δεν ξέρω πώς ήμουν να το εκτιμήσετε, αλλά ειδικά κάποιοι πιο παγιοί που εθωρούσετε και την Premiership είχαμε καλεσμένο τον Steve Walsh, το αρχηγό της Leicester. Μιλούμε σε εποχές που η Leicester έπαιζε πάρα πολλά καλά στην Αγγλία, με πολλά καλούς παίχτες γύρω του. Άνθρωπος που γνωρίζει προσωπικά τον κύριο Lennon. Μίλησε μας για τα πάντα, μέσα έξω για το τι μπορούμε να περιμένουμε, για το τι χαρακτήρας είναι, πώς ήταν σαν ποδοσφαιριστής, πώς ήταν σαν προπονητής. Είναι ένας άνθρωπος ο οποίος κρατάει επικοινωνία με τον κύριο Lennon συχνή. Έδωσε μας έτσι λίγο να καταλάβουμε το πώς θα προσεγγίσει τα παιχνίδια, πόσο διψά στους αγώνες για να πετύχει την προσέγγιση και πώς να κερδίζει τους παίχτες, ότι μισά να χάνει, ότι είναι ένας προπονητής ο οποίος αρέσκει του πολλά να κερδίζει, αλλά είπε και τούτος ότι πρέπει να του δοθεί ο χρόνος να δουλέψει, να καταλάβει. Και εμείς ως ομονιάτες τούτον έχουμε να κάνουμε, ρε παιδιά, ενώ σου ό,τι είπαμε, που τώρα και να πάει, τούτος είναι ο προπονητής μας και πρέπει να στηρίξουμε όχι με τα 100, με τα 1000, ρε. Με τα 1000 πρέπει να στηρίξουμε τον προπονητή μας, τούτος είναι. Δεν βοηθά σε τίποτε όμως να μουρμουρούμε για οποιονδήποτε λόγο. Δεν βοηθά σε τίποτε. Δώστε του ο χρόνο του και αν ύστερα από ένα χρόνο δεν σας κάνει ό,τι θέλετε πέτε. Αλλά όχι πριν να έρθει ο άνθρωπος να μουρμουράτε. Σας παρακαλώ. Πάμε σιλάκα μου. Πάμε ρε Lennon μου γαμώ το αμέσα. Πέλανε τους.